All right, welcome everyone. This video, I want to kind of wrap up our treatment of the arrange function in the dplyr package before we continue on and talk about some other functions in dplyr. So far we have talked about how we can use the arrange function to arrange all of the rows in a data frame, either in ascending order or descending order by particular variable's value, or possibly alphabetical order if they were characters. Um, we can also arrange rows within groups. And I think, as many things, the best way to kind of explain this would be with an example. So in the example below, we kind of go through a couple of steps, and I'm going to actually store the output of the first step to a data frame that I call storms slice, and then we'll kind of arrange that output. And we're going to use a function that's called group by that we'll talk about later when we talk about column actions. So we'll kind of just put that on hold, but I'll explain what that's going to do. So we're going to take the storms data frame and we're going to group data together by status. So the status variable in the storms data frame is saying like whether the storm was a hurricane, a tropical storm, a tropical depression, an extratropical storm, and so on. So it's going to go into the storms data frame, and what that's going to do, it's going to group all of the hurricanes next to each other. It's going to group all of the extratropical storms next to each other, and so on. And then we're going to pipe that command into the slice function. And remember, the slice function just subsets by row index. So this is going to take the first 3 rows from each status group. So I'm going to run this command over here. And maybe if it's helpful, we can take a look at what storms slice looks like. So here you can see it took all of, there's 3 disturbances, there's 3 extratropical storms, there is 3 hurricanes. If I did not put this slice 1 colon 3, this would just reshuffle all of the rows in our data frame and just group them by, so it would create one group of all of the disturbances. They would all be grouped next to each other. We would create one group of extratropical storms, all grouped to each other. And you can see from this output over here that it created 9 status groups up top. And now what this code cell does down here, we go into the arrange function. So now we're going to take the output, which is all this stuff up here. We're going to arrange it by wind. So it's going to sort by wind speed. By default, it's going to do this in ascending order. But rather than sort the entire data frame, it's going to do this within each group. So that's what this option does. So because we used this option within the arrange function, when I run this output, let's see, here's the wind speed column, right? You can see that this entire column is not in ascending order. I have values of 10 over here, which are smaller than value 70, but it didn't sort this entire column in ascending order. It's doing it separately for each group. So there's a disturbance group, and then and each group has 3 values. It just so happens that all 3 of these values are the same, but it would then sort these 3 values in ascending order by wind speed. Then it goes into the extratropical group. There were three values. It sorted them in ascending order by wind speed, 45, 60, 60. Then it went into hurricane. It sorted these three values in ascending order by wind speed, 65, 70, 75. So rather than sort by wind speed in the entire data frame, it sorts within each individual group. In this case, each group was a different storm status. So there were 9 of them. So in each of these 9 separate storm status groups, it did a separate arranging within each of those groups. Okay, so that is a separate way of sorting things that might be useful in some circumstances. So that is a wrap for the greatest hits of row actions in dplyr. Coming up next is going to be talking about some of the most commonly used column actions in dplyr.